Have you ever seen a Japanese sports car and thought, that's cool, but nothing too special? Well, you haven't seen anything yet. Hidden in the history of Japan's automotive golden age are machines so rare, so unexpected, that most enthusiasts don't even know they exist. Today, we're exploring the 7 levels of the rarest Japanese muscle cars ever made. Vehicles that prove Japanese engineers didn't just build efficient economy cars. They built fire-breathing monsters that could embarrass anything coming out of Detroit. From limited production homologation specials to one-off factory experiments that defied all logic, these cars represent Japanese automotive ambition, taken to its absolute extreme. So, buckle up and hit that subscribe button, because we're about to uncover some truly legendary machinery that history almost forgot. Level 1. The Forgotten Warriors. These are the Japanese muscle cars that practically nobody remembers exist, the ones that get glossed over at car meets while everyone crowds around the Skylines and Supras. Starting with the Mitsubishi Galant VR4. I mean, who even talks about this one anymore? It's like the backup dancer who actually had talent but never got the spotlight. Sure, it pioneered all-wheel drive turbo technology that would later make the Lancer Evolution legendary, but it's about as celebrated as a participation trophy at a racing championship. The Galant VR4 debuted in 1987 as Mitsubishi's weapon for World Rally Championship homologation. It packed a 2.0-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder, making around 195 horsepower, all-wheel drive, active aerodynamics, and 4-wheel steering in later models. This thing was a technological showcase, a legitimate rally-bred sedan that could embarrass sports cars twice its price. It won the WRC Manufacturers' Championship. It dominated rally stages across the globe. And yet, ask 10 JDM enthusiasts about it, and maybe 2 will remember its name. The most exciting thing about the Galant VR4? Probably when someone at a car show says, "That's the car that became the Evo, right?" And you nod, because that's literally the only context anyone remembers it in. It's the prologue everyone skips to get to the main story. Despite being a genuine homologation special with racing pedigree, this car remains invisible to the broader enthusiast community. The performance was there, the technology was groundbreaking, but the recognition, completely absent. The same fate befell the Mazda 929 Turbo and the Nissan Leopard Ultima. The 929 Turbo was Mazda's attempt at a luxury muscle sedan in the late 1980s. A turbocharged straight-six with rear-wheel drive that could actually move. And the Leopard Ultima? It was Nissan's personal luxury coupe with a twin-turbo V6 producing over 250 horsepower. Both were genuinely quick. Both had style. But both are now completely forgotten, buried under decades of indifference and the overwhelming shadow of more famous nameplates. They're functional, they work fine, but neither one is keeping enthusiasts up at night dreaming about ownership. But the next level has considerably more presence. Level 2. The underrated performers. The Toyota Crown Athlete Phi represents this tier perfectly. Introduced in the late 1990s, this was Toyota's answer to German sports sedans, a full-size luxury sedan with a 280 horsepower, twin-turbo inline-six and rear-wheel drive. This thing could run with BMWs and Mercedes of the era, wrapped in conservative Toyota styling that made it completely invisible to anyone who wasn't paying attention. The Crown Athlete 5 came with a 2.5-liter 1JZ GTE engine, the same legendary power plant that made the Toyota Chaser and Mark II cult favorites. It featured a smooth-shifting automatic transmission, sport-tuned suspension, and build quality that made German cars feel questionable. This was a 150 MUF luxury sedan, built by a company famous for making Camrys, and it could absolutely devour highway miles while remaining comfortable enough for your grandmother. Enthusiasts who know about the Crown Athlete Phi genuinely respect it. It's the reliable friend who's secretly fast, dependable, comfortable, and surprisingly capable when pushed. But as much as people respect it, nobody's making YouTube videos about it. It's not winning Concours d'Elegance trophies. It's not breaking auction records. It's just exceptionally good at being a fast, luxurious sedan. And sometimes that's enough to rise above the truly forgettable cars, but not enough to become legendary. The Subaru Legacy RS Type RA and the Honda Accord Euro R also belong here. Both have legitimate performance credentials. The Legacy RS was Subaru's rally homologation sedan with turbocharged flat-4 power and all-wheel drive. The Accord Euro R packed a high-revving 220 horsepower K28 engine with a limited slip differential and handling sharp enough to embarrass dedicated sports cars. Both have appeared in motorsports. Both have genuine enthusiast followings in certain circles. But when someone says favorite Japanese performance car, these aren't making anyone's top 10 list. They're respected, appreciated, but never celebrated. Level 3. The Cult Classics. The Nissan Stagea 260 RS occupies this level with authority. This is one of the most produced performance wagons in Japanese history, with thousands built specifically for enthusiasts who wanted Skyline GTR performance in a practical package. Since 1996, this car has existed as the forbidden fruit, the wagon nobody outside Japan could officially buy, powered by the legendary RB26 DTT engine. Let me be clear about what the Stagea 260 RS actually is. It's a Skyline GTR wagon that Nissan pretended wasn't a Skyline GTR wagon. Same twin-turbo RB26 inline 6 producing 280 horsepower. Same all-wheel drive system. Same basic chassis bones as the R33 Skyline GTR. But wrapped in station wagon bodywork that could carry groceries, camping gear, and 4 adults in complete comfort. Then absolutely destroy sports cars at stoplights. The 260 RS was Nissan's way of giving family-oriented enthusiasts the GTR experience without the two-door sports car compromise. It featured upgraded brakes, sport suspension, aggressive body kit, and all the performance hardware that made the GTR legendary. This thing could run 13-second quarter miles from the factory, handle mountain roads like a sports car, then haul home renovation supplies from the hardware store on Sunday. But here's the reality. The Stagea 260 RS is the reliable workhorse that enthusiasts respect but don't obsess over. It's like a performance-oriented minivan, incredibly capable, surprisingly fast, genuinely practical. But when people dream about Japanese performance cars, they're not dreaming about wagons. It's the car that proves station wagons can be exciting, but it's not the one appearing on bedroom posters. The Mitsubishi Legnum VR4 and the Toyota Caldina GT4 also fit here. Both are turbocharged all-wheel drive wagons with legitimate performance. Both have substance and practicality, but both always play second fiddle to their sedan counterparts. Level 4. The Homologation Specials. The Mazda RX-7. Spirit R Type A generates serious heat at this level. The final run from 2002 produced only 1,500 examples, the absolute last RX-7S Mazda would ever build, representing the culmination of rotary engine development spanning decades. This wasn't just another RX-7. This was Mazda's farewell to the rotary sports car, built with upgraded components, refined suspension geometry, and that special attention to detail reserved for final edition vehicles. The Spirit R Type. A featured the 13 BREW twin-turbo rotary engine, producing 280 horsepower, but with improved reliability components learned from years of production. It included Recaro seats, upgraded brakes, revised suspension tuning, and unique badging, identifying it as one of the final examples. The entire car was basically Mazda saying, "We know rotary engines are ending. Here's everything we learned in one package." What made the Spirit R special was the finality. This represented the end of an era, the last time Mazda would build a twin-turbo rotary sports car before environmental regulations and efficiency demands killed the rotary engine entirely. It became popular with collectors who wanted the ultimate RX-7, the final evolution of nearly a decade of refinement on the FD platform. Then production ended in 2002, and rotary sports cars disappeared from Mazda's lineup. For years, Spirit R examples commanded significant premiums over standard RX-7S. Clean examples became increasingly rare as enthusiasts modified them, crashed them, or blew up the fragile rotary engines through neglect. Today, an unmolested Spirit R Type A is genuinely rare, with prices reflecting that scarcity. But even with all that going for it, the Spirit R is still living in the shadow of the standard RX-7's overwhelming popularity. It's the valedictorian of a famous graduating class. Impressive credentials, genuine rarity, but somehow still compared to the class president everyone remembers more fondly. The Spirit R is better in every measurable way, but the standard RX-7's cultural impact overshadows it. The Nissan Skyline, GT-R V-Spec 2 NUR, and the Honda Integra. Type R DC2 Type R 98 spec also inhabit this level. Both are limited production variants of already legendary cars. Both command premium prices. But somehow they're still not quite as iconic as the standard models they improved upon. Level 5. The legendary rarities. The Toyota Supra GRMN Turbo. A 70 is the definition of this level. Introduced in 1987, this was Toyota's first official Gazoo Racing Masters of Nürburgring tuned vehicle, decades before GRMN became a recognized performance sub-brand. Only 300 examples were built, making it one of the rarest factory-tuned Japanese muscle cars ever produced. Here's the story. In the mid-1980s, Toyota wanted to prove the A70 Supra could be a serious performance machine, not just a luxurious grand tourer. They partnered with TRD, Toyota Racing Development, to create a homologation special for Group A racing. The result was the GRMN Turbo, a stripped-down, turbocharged Supra with upgraded suspension, aggressive aerodynamics, lightweight components, and racing-derived modifications throughout. The GRMN Turbo featured a turbocharged 1GGTEU inline-6, producing around 240 horsepower, substantial for 1987. But power wasn't the main focus. Toyota removed sound deadening, installed stiffer suspension, added large fender flares accommodating wider wheels, fitted a massive rear wing, and included a functional front splitter. This wasn't a luxury GT car anymore. This was a racing car with license plates. The GRMN Turbo became a legend among Japanese collectors. Only 300 were built for homologation purposes, all sold exclusively in Japan, primarily to customers with racing intentions. Most were actually raced, modified heavily, or crashed. Surviving examples in original condition are incredibly rare. Probably fewer than 50 remain worldwide. But here's the tragedy. The GRMN Turbo has always been overshadowed by the A80 Supra that came later. Everyone knows the twin-turbo Supra from Fast and Furious. Almost nobody knows about the GRMN. Even serious Supra enthusiasts often discover the GRMN Turbo's existence years into their fandom. It remained the if-you-know vehicle, respected by hardcore collectors, but completely unknown to mainstream enthusiasts. The Nissan Skyline, GT-R N1 and the Mazda RX-7, RE Amamiya GT300 also belong here. Both have passionate cult followings. Both are genuinely rare homologation specials built for racing. But neither achieved mainstream legendary status outside Japan. Level 6, the Unicorns, the Nissan Skyline. GT-R R33 LM Limited has all the ingredients for absolute legendary status. Introduced in 1996 to commemorate Nissan's 24 Hours of Le Mans entry, only 188 examples were produced, making it one of the rarest GT-Rs ever built. This wasn't just a special edition with unique paint. This was a comprehensively upgraded vehicle incorporating lessons learned from racing at the world's most famous endurance circuit. The story begins with Nissan's ambitious GT-R LM program. In 1995, Nissan entered a heavily modified R33 GT-R at Le Mans, attempting to prove Japanese technology could compete against Porsche, Ferrari, and McLaren on Europe's most prestigious stage. The race car featured extensive modifications, revised aerodynamics, weight reduction, upgraded cooling, enhanced drivetrain components. Though the race car didn't win, it completed the race and demonstrated the GT-R platform's potential. To commemorate the Le Mans entry, Nissan created the LM Limited. It included championship white paint with purple and pink Nismo graphics, Nismo suspension components, lightweight 17-inch BBS wheels, upgraded brakes, Nismo exhaust, retuned engine producing slightly more power than standard GT-Rs, and special interior badging. More importantly, it featured improved engine cooling, strengthened transmission, and various reliability enhancements learned from endurance racing. The LM Limited became the GTR collectors wanted. It was rare, purposeful, and directly connected to motorsports. But with only 188 produced, all sold exclusively in Japan through lottery system, most enthusiasts could only dream about ownership. Values have skyrocketed over the past decade as collectors realized how few examples actually exist. But the LM Limited lives in a strange position. It's rarer than standard R33 GTRs. It has better components. It commemorates an important motorsports moment. Yet somehow it's still overshadowed by the R34 GTR that came after it. The R34 has cultural cash from video games and movies. The R33 LM Limited has genuine rarity and racing heritage. But recognition. The R34 wins every time, despite the R33 LM Limited being objectively rarer and more special. The Mazda RX-7, Bathurst R, and the Mitsubishi Lancer. Evolution 6 Tommy Mäkinen Edition also belong at this level. Both are homologation specials celebrating racing success. Both are extraordinarily rare. But both remain somewhat obscure outside dedicated enthusiast circles. Level 7, the mythical beasts. At the absolute pinnacle sits the Nissan R390 GT1 road car. Only one street-legal example was ever built, making it not just the rarest Japanese muscle car, but one of the rarest cars, period. This wasn't a limited production run. This wasn't a homologation special where dozens were built. This was literally a one-off vehicle created solely to satisfy regulations, requiring road-legal versions of race cars. Here's the insane story. In 1997, Nissan wanted to compete at Le Mans in the GT1 category against the Porsche 911 GT1, Mercedes CLK GTR, and McLaren F1 GTR. Regulations required manufacturers to produce road-legal versions of their race cars. Typically just one example to satisfy the letter of the law. Nissan built the R390 race car first, a mid-engine supercar with twin-turbo V8 producing over 600 horsepower, carbon fiber bodywork, and pure racing pedigree. Then they built the road car. Sort of. The R390 GT1 road car used the same carbon fiber chassis as the race car, the same basic twin-turbo VRH35L V8 engine, detuned to approximately 550 horsepower for street use. The same mid-engine layout and similar aerodynamic bodywork. It received minimal interior appointments, 2 seats, basic gauges, enough creature comforts to technically qualify as street legal. Nissan built exactly one complete road car. They never sold it. They never crashed it. They never displayed it publicly for years. It lived in storage at Nissan's Heritage Collection, appearing occasionally at historic motorsports events as proof that a road version actually existed. The R390 GT1 race cars competed at Le Mans in 1997 and 1998, finishing as high as 3rd place before Nissan withdrew from the program. Today, that single R390 GT1 road car represents the absolute holy grail of Japanese performance vehicles. It's not for sale. It's not available. You cannot buy it at any price because Nissan owns it and has no intention of selling. It exists in the same realm as priceless museum artifacts. You can see it occasionally, but you'll never possess it. The R390 GT1 is the ultimate what-if car. What if Nissan had actually produced these for customers? What if they'd continued the Le Mans program? What if Japanese manufacturers had seriously challenged European supercars in the late 1990s? We'll never know because only one road car exists, locked away in Nissan's collection, reminding us of automotive ambition that reached its absolute peak before regulations, economics, and corporate decisions killed such programs forever. And that's where our journey ends. From forgotten rally sedans that nobody remembers, through cult classics and homologation specials, all the way to a literally unobtainable, one-off supercar that represents Japanese automotive engineering at its most extreme. These 7 levels of rare Japanese muscle cars prove that Japan didn't just build reliable economy cars. They built absolute monsters, fire-breathing machines that could embarrass anything globally, wrapped in understated bodywork and buried under decades of obscurity. The rarest Japanese muscle cars remain hidden, forgotten, or locked away. But they existed. They were real, and they were absolutely spectacular.